Hello, everyone. This is Catrice with Bantu Cola, and today we're doing Black Business Showcase, and we have NeRissa Bates online. Hi, NeRissa. How are you?
Hi, Patrice. I'm great. How are you?
All is well. All is well. So today we're going to talk about your business today, and we're going to go into talking about how she can help you with her business, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, NeRissa, tell me a little bit about your business. What is it that you do?
I am a full-time realtor here in Pensacola, Florida with LPT Realty.
Okay. What does that entail whenever you say that you're a realtor?
Anyone that's interested in buying or selling a residential property as well as lots in Pensacola, Florida, I assist with first-time home buyers as well as anyone that's relocating or, moving into the area or having to relocate and move out of the area. I can also assist you with an agent. Let's say if you're moving to Atlanta, I have a network of agents, and so I would be able to also assist you with relocating if you needed to. So having to sell a home here and then possibly purchase a new home in your new location. And also if you're looking to just buy a vacant lot and possibly do a construction loan, I will be able to assist you with that as well.
Okay, that's wonderful. What got you into this business?
My background is in banking and finance. I did that for about 15 years, actually. Graduated from University of West Florida in 2001 in health education and was not able to get a job at the time. And my first job out of school was working with a finance company. And it just piqued my interest because I had literally only taken one business class throughout my 4 years at the University of West Florida. So when I started actually working in the industry, I absolutely loved it. And being able to just share the knowledge that I learned from working there. And I started an entry-level position, and then I started doing the more on the lending side with the home equity loans. It started at home equity loans for me, and then from there I started doing mortgages, became a loan officer, started working at a bank where I was able to also do mortgages there. So I did banking and loans for about 9 years. And then from there, I was an underwriter junior underwriter with Navy Federal Credit Union for a little bit. And so once with my husband's job, we relocated to Hershey, Pennsylvania for a little bit. And when I moved back, I was like, I just want to do something that I know is going to make a difference in my community. So that's how I ended here with real estate. And I absolutely love working with first-time home buyers. It's very rewarding.
Really? Okay. What is the reward for that for you?
I think because I know the gratification that I had when I purchased my first home. My goal was to be a homeowner by 30. And we did that with some struggles at first because we did have some credit issues, debt to income issues as well. So being able to work through those hurdles, I tell this story because it's real, but my husband really didn't believe in paying people. And so when we got married and he knew that that was a goal of mine, I sat him down and I was like, listen, we've got to cut back on this, so we can get your score to where it needs to be so we can do this, because we had small kids. And I was like, we're paying someone else's mortgage. At the time in 2007, we were paying about $800 a month, which was a lot at the time. And I'm like, when we sit down and do the math of how much we're paying every month, we're paying this person's mortgage. So let's invest in our kids and in our family and start building some equity for ourselves. So I know the type of equity that people can get out of homes. And I just really try and inspire other people to take advantage of that, because it really can be life-changing for you and your family.
Absolutely. That sounds wonderful. Okay. So from what I understand, your husband's also a realtor. Is that correct?
Yes, we are a team.
Wonderful. Okay, so you were in banking, and then you went from banking all the way over to real estate. And how was the transition for you? Was it a difficult transition?
It actually wasn't, because I had been doing loans for so long, and I've always loved looking at houses. So even on a random Sunday, I would go just look at houses, open houses, parade of homes. It's so inspirational. It gives you ideas on things that you can do in your own house. So it's always just been a passion of mine. I love those HGTV shows where they're, touring the homes and trying to decide, like, which one are they going to pick, guessing which one they're going to pick at the end. It's just always been a passion of mine to own a home. And so it was, the hardest part for me was actually the test. I'm nervous. I've always been very nervous about taking those tests, but I took the test out, I took the class, I passed it. And I feel like it was all just, I feel like the banking part was just this amazing journey to get me to where I am, because I learned so much working at the bank and having to do the loans, be the loan officer. I was also a closer. I was a notary. So I closed the documents. All of that helps me now when I'm sitting down at a title company, and I know, it helps me being able to get the fees together for the client and just being able to explain the process to them and what they're going to, all the steps. It really helps in that aspect.
Absolutely. Okay. So first-time home buyers, whenever they get ready to go and look for a home, what are some of the things that they need to expect?
They need to expect for it to not just, it's not, most of the time, it doesn't just happen immediately. A lot of times there's going to be some bumps in the road. So you want to feel comfortable talking to your agent and your lender with any questions that you have, because questions are going to come up. And I always tell my clients, there's no dumb question. So just be prepared to listen and do what your realtor and your lender is advising you to do, so you can stay on track and get to the end goal, which is closing table.
Okay. Got a question for you. You have a person that wants to buy a home, and they've gotten their credit together. They've done all this stuff. And then when they finally find a home, they've used their credit card. Could that affect them?
Yes, because using the card could affect your debt to income ratio, your ratios, as well as your score. So ideally, you want to keep your credit card balances under 30%. So if your score, if your balance goes over that 30%, that could affect your credit. So the ratio, and then it could also, depending on how much debt you add to the card, it could affect your credit score. So that's the main thing. I tell people, if you know you're looking to buy, try not to open any new credit cards. Don't do any inquiries on your credit report. Don't make any large deposits or withdraw any large deposits, because you're going to want to have anything that you do that is like a major change on your income or your credit. You will have to explain it to the underwriter. So it's just very important to try and keep it as seamless as possible.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so when they go to closing, because I've owned a home before, I know that there's a lot of paperwork that's entailed. And some of the paperwork that you have, a lot of times we don't really know what they're signing. Can you tell us a little bit about what they're signing whenever they go and do this work?
So you're going to sign, you get a clear to close, normally 2 to 3 days before closing, and it's going to be an estimate of all your fees. That's one of the main, most important documents. You want to make sure that it has the seller's side correctly as well as the buyer's side, and then what you need to bring to closing if you're the buyer. Or if you're the seller, you want to make sure that your net is correct and what you're supposed to receive at closing. You also sign the mortgage. You're verifying that the address is correct, the property description is correct. You're signing the note, so you're verifying if you're buying that the interest rate is correct, your payment's correct, all the quotes that you've received for taxes and insurance is correct. Most of the documents, it seems like they're duplicates, because you'll be signing some of the same documents. Well, they pretty much say the same thing, but it's just they have to be recorded. So you want to make sure they'll just be, some of the papers will seem like it's duplicate. But the main thing is just verifying that the address, your name is correct on the documents, and that the payment and all of that is correct as to what you've already received before you get to the closing table. And if you get to the closing table and something doesn't look right, definitely don't sign without asking questions and verifying what's going on. Because if you've been told one thing and then you get there and it's something different, you don't need to sign until you're absolutely 100% sure that you understand everything you're signing. So if the lender isn't there, you can always call them at closing, just to verify, what's going on. Is this what it's supposed to be, or this isn't what you told me? And you want to just verify that everything's correct before you sign those documents, because once they're recorded, they're recorded.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, that's good information, really good information. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk a little bit about your experience. How long have you been in the field?
So I started working in banking and finance in 2001. Okay. And I actually got my license in 2021. So it's been almost 2 years as a realtor. I've closed about 18 deals and about $3.2 million on the buy
Wow,
side. And
that's good. That's really, really good. Okay.
thank
So
you.
you're a go-getter when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. That's wonderful. So
Thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen, I'm telling you, like, she sounds like she's got her stuff together. She's only been doing it for a short while, but it doesn't mean that she doesn't know what she's doing. So that's
That's
something
correct.
that you want to keep in mind when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. You're looking for a home. Do you have any title companies that you work with on a regular basis, or how does that
Um,
work?
so I do use, I've used Pensacola Heritage Title. They're one of the black or the only black owned title companies here in Pensacola. I love Cicely and her team. They're very professional. And I've just had great experiences working with them. But I've also worked with Sunbelt. I worked with Clear Title. So there's some others. And
You
I've
have quite
also
a
had to
few.
work with, yes, and I've also I work with several investors in town. So a lot of times they want to use their preferred attorney. So I've had the opportunity to also work with some of the local attorneys as well for closing agents.
Okay, that's good. That's really, really good. So let's switch gears a little bit. What do you have going on right now in your business that you think could help other people? Do you have any workshops? Do you have any events that's taking place that you want to tell someone about?
Well, thank you. I actually just completed a first-time homebuyer webinar this past Saturday at Main Street Library on Spring Street, and it was very successful. So I'm excited, and I partnered with a local lender, Tijuana Jennings. She's with the Bow Financial. So we got together and did the seminar, and it was very rewarding. I will say that. And so our plan is to continue that and to continue doing those quarterly. I also share a lot of tips and tricks about credit and income and budgets and stuff like that on my social media. So if you want to follow me, I do that. And I'm always available if anyone has questions. I love giving back to my community. So if I can help someone, then I'm going to help someone. And that's just how I am. So you can always give me a call and ask me any questions.
We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back, and we are still talking with NeRissa Bates, and we are super excited about her information that she's giving us concerning her business, and we want to be able to make sure that you guys get this information because it's really helpful if you're trying to buy a home. So NeRissa, I have a question to ask you.
Okay.
What are the most important resources a buyer should be using?
So I feel like the most important resource is you want to be, if you know that homeownership is your goal, I would suggest that you are monitoring your credit. So you can go to annualcreditreport.com and you're actually able to do that once a week. It doesn't give you your scores, but let's say you're working on paying things off or paying bills down, you can see how your credit is being updated. So that way, when you do apply and you get with the lender, you'll have an idea that everything is where it needs to be. So if you're working on paying collections off or paying balances down, I feel like that's a very great resource. And then from there, it's going to be interviewing lenders that you feel are a good fit for you. So you can interview your lenders and kind of ask them about their process and procedures and what they require from you. So getting a lender that you feel would be a good fit for you. What are their communication styles? Is it only internet, or also will they call you? Would they email you? Would they be available if you want to come and sit down and meet with them? A lot of times you call these 800 numbers and you're working with someone that's in California. So they may not be available on Saturdays or 8 o'clock at night when you get off. So I love working with local lenders just because of the convenience, and normally they're more available and accessible when we need them. And then next is also interviewing a realtor. So that way you can see if the realtor and you are going to be a good fit.
What are some of the questions that you can ask a realtor?
You can ask them for referrals.
Okay.
Ask them how many deals have they done, Are they accustomed to working with first-time home buyers? Have they done lot loans before? Do they work with investors? It just depends on your situation. Like, what is their price point? What advice would they give you as a first-time home buyer? Ask them, the process, their process, and how do they communicate with you? Are they available on the weekends? There are some realtors that don't work on the weekend. So if you work all week and you have kids and sports and you're only available on the weekend, you want to make sure that agent's going to be willing to go the mile, to get you to where you want to be. So that's what I would suggest.
Wow. That's powerful information, because I'm telling you, sometimes we get people that are doing business and we don't realize that they also have lives, because you figure, they're making money and this is what they do, but they may only have a set amount of time where they can do certain things, or even a certain section that they'll work in. Is that correct?
Correct. Some agents only do residential, some only do commercial. So, yeah, and ask them who's on their team. What title companies do they use? What mortgage companies would they prefer you to? They should be able to give you resources to help you along the way.
Can you give people your information where they're able to reach you?
Absolutely. My direct phone number is 850-281-9119. And I am on Facebook as NeRissa Myrick Bates. I'm also on, Instagram as real estate with _team Bates. So that's how you can reach me.
Do you have a website?
I do have a website. It's NeRissa.MyrickBates@lpt.com.
Okay.
LPTrealty.com. I apologize. So NeRissa.MyrickBates@lptrealty.com.
Okay. So for people to be able to contact you, that's a great way to contact you. We do know that you are also a part of Bantu Cola. You just recently signed up. Thank you so much for being a part of that. Guys, if you would like to find out more information about Bantu Cola, please go to bantucola.com and you can see all the great information there. Also, on top of that, if you are interested in learning more about it, we have a phone number where you can give us a call. Just go to the website, go to the bottom of the page. You can click on it. It'll take you straight to the number where you can give us a call. Another thing that you want to do is check out our social media pages. You can check us at bantucola.com on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we also have a YouTube page with all of our great videos. So please check us out there, and we'll be more than happy to help you out with any kind of business information that you need. Thank you for your time. NeRissa, it was a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Hey, tribe, come join the largest Black business directory on the Gulf Coast. Join Bantu Cola, where we advertise, buy, and advocate for Black businesses. So sign your business up today at bantucola.com, bantucola.com. Bantu Cola, be Black, buy Black, think Black.